Hey guys, Jason here. I tried to make a video here within a few minutes ago, but my video recorder just decided to, well, guess what? I'm going to take a break. So anyways, what I want to talk to you about is God's real name is Jason. Okay? There's a reason why Jesus had said this in Matthew 16:20. Because he's trying to tell you what the real name is without saying what his real name is. Okay? This is all part of the whole process, so you can understand that there's a hidden path that not many find. And that's what that is. This is why he's telling his disciples, then charge his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. Yeah, your Jesus Christ idol is telling you he's not Jesus Christ. Right off the bat, you guys should be like, holy smokes. You mean I was believing a lie? Yeah, because you have to understand here in the beginning, there's two stories going on in the Bible. There's the Old Testament, which is the spiritual part. Okay, then there's the realistic part. Okay, and all I'm trying to do is bring you a realistic perspective how they blend together. See, the Old Testament is telling you what's going on. The New Testament is a reflection of that. It's like a mirror, guys. So anyways, in the story of when the angel came to Mary, okay, the angel could be the devil too. We don't know, because Jesus warned you, the devil or Satan comes down as lightning. Okay, so we don't know what type of angel that visited Mary. Okay, but we begin to understand what the Old Testament is saying, that the woman was deceived by the serpent. We all know that in Genesis. Okay, well, that's exactly what happened with Mary. Marie. The 1611 catalogs her name as Marie. So, anyways, when the angel, the serpent, came to Mary, said his name's going to be Jesus, that's the deception. That's why Jesus is trying to tell you here that he's not Jesus Christ. Does that make sense? I tried to make it as clear as day, guys. Okay. The reason why the name's in there is because it has to do with 7-Eleven. That's why the numbers are very important in the Bible. So basically, I'm giving you guys another tool to discern between the scriptures. Remember, the scriptures are not as what the churches are trying to tell you, back to forward and back, and that's it, verse by verse and chapter by chapter. No, it's not. God's plan in the Bible is for you to understand that there's a hidden path that only God knows. God is the one that reveals this to you. So then when you get some understanding, you can begin to learn how to discern the Bible itself. Just like a river. See, most Christians and their ideas and their ideology is that, the Bible is straightforward. Well, has anybody seen a river straight as an arrow? Has anybody? No. A river goes this way, goes that way, and goes this way and that way. Okay? It goes wherever it wants. This is what I'm trying to say. Water fits almost in, just like what Bruce Lee said. Water fits into every type of container. It fits perfectly. Okay? So that's what water does. It goes all over the place. This is how the Bible should be understood. From beginning and end. That's what God declares. God declares the end from the beginning, which is telling you that the end is Revelations, which the Genesis is the beginning. So the beginning is the seventh day. We're in it, guys. It's not 7,000 years ago and then God created it in 7 days. No, the seventh The 7 days is 7,000 years processed from the beginning up until the end, until we get to the 7th day, which is the truth, the understanding. God's here. Guess what? You know what I mean? That's why everybody's hiding. So anyways, as you can see the pattern there. Right? I was November 17th when I received Jesus. Okay? Because I am the Heavenly Father, guys. Because the reason why God declares his own name. Okay, Exodus 34:5. 7:5. Remember that number 7:5? That's my name. Jason Campo. Jason, 5 letters. Campo, 7 letters. 5-7. Okay, 7:5. The Lord descended in the cloud, proclaim the name of the Lord. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, guys. His name is Jason. Okay, now let's pay attention to this. Okay, so God paid all the sin in the beginning. That's why we have the commandments. Okay, the devil, Saul Paul, the murderer, right, is the devil. He's the one that murdered Jesus, breaking God's covenant. After God doesn't break his covenant. Okay, and Jesus is trying to warn you. Okay, remember, Jesus is trying to save your dumbasses. Okay, so he's warning you. He's been giving you tons and tons of warnings. But instead, you guys are thinking that Jesus is the Son of Man when he's the Son of God. That's what I've always puzzled when I was in the churches. The churches always assume the Son of Man, it was Jesus. So they naturally assume the Son of Man that's in the Old Testament was Jesus. No, Jesus was the Son of God. And if you understand in Joel, telling you about the sons of God, right, plural, indicating that there are more sons of God, which are the prophets, which makes Jesus a prophet. Okay? That's how you become a son of God, by obeying God's commandments. All right? Psalm 6:23. For the commandment is the lamp, and the law is the light, and the reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So, we all know that Jesus is the light, right? Well, what made him the light was he kept the commandments. Okay, so remember it talks about the Israelites? Because God is creating the Israel kingdom, the real spiritual one, which is going to take place throughout the world, not in a tiny little worthless Jewish kingdom. The fake, the one that's murdering innocent people right now. Why would anybody associate with themselves with murderers? Arrogant assholes. People that don't care about who you are. They only care about themselves and their own traditions. The Jews don't care about anyone else, guys. That's your guys' mistake. This is what the Christians in America are assuming. Oh, the Jews love us. No, they don't. They're trained. They're brainwashed to follow their strict traditions. After Jesus had finished saying in Mark 7 verse 8, for laying aside the commandment of God for the traditions of men. This is what makes them not God's chosen people, guys. Everybody needs to start reading their Bibles again. Period. That way these religions won't lie to you. Just like an engineering text. You become an engineer, you read an engineering text. You become a social worker, you read sociology texts. Okay? You become a carpenter, you read textbooks that have to do with carpentry. Right? Well, it's the same thing as religion doctrine. You need to read it and study it. Not to cherry pick what you need to see to put your Messiah or Christ or Jesus in it ahead of God. Because that's the most foolish thing to do. So anyways, Psalms 89:34, which is 8 plus 9 is what, 17? 3 plus 4 is 7. Acts 17 verse 7, which is Jason and Jesus. Jason, I'm Jason, guys. And Jesus, I received him when I was 9 years old. So this is who I have right now. I'm the only one that believes him. No one else does. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that got on my lips. So Jesus is trying to tell you here at the same time, Jesus kept the commandments. This is what made him a son of God. So this is what makes you a child of God, by obeying his commandments. If you're not obeying his commandments, you don't have the light, you don't have God's commandments. What makes you think you're chosen by God? You can't. God keeps the commandments. So the Christians right now are stealing, and they're joining the murderers, Jews. So obviously they're not God's chosen people if they can't even keep one commandment from God. That's why Jesus gave you two. Love the Lord your God, which is the commandments, and love your neighbor. Well, you share the commandments with your neighbor, thereby loving your neighbor. That's how simple that really is, guys. But you ask any Christian today, where are the commandments, guys? You go down to the street, I don't know. Then they'll give you some bullshit response. It's like what the devil will do to try and cop themselves out of it. Oh, we were instructed not to keep the commandments because Paul says this. I don't give a fuck what Paul says, guys. Do you guys understand that? I don't care what men's opinion is. Our instructions are simple as what Jesus is trying to tell you, right? To have life is to keep the commandments. And that's why you believe Jesus. Okay. Jeremiah 23:28. The prophet that has a dream, let him tell a dream. I don't know how many Christians I've witnessed. Oh, I had a dream. Guess what, guys? And then they go on their just worthless dream. I'm like, I don't even listen to their video because it's garbage. It means nothing. They're just trying to get sympathy and likes because basically Jesus gave a prophecy in John 12:43, for they love the praise of men for the praise of men, or for the praise of God. Yeah, they've chosen men's stupid videos is what's going on here. Not understanding Jesus. Right? The prophet that has a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that has my word, here it is, the commandments, let him speak my word faithfully. That's where the faith is. Not making up garbage and this and this. It's speaking God's commands. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord? So the chaff are those declaring their dreams. This includes the so-called Joseph dream, Daniel's dream. It's just all garbage. John's dream. Anyways. Matthew 5:16. Now 5:16, now 1 plus 6 is what? 7, right? 5:7. Remember I told you about 5:7 or 7:5 where the name Jason, my initials are Jason. Jason, 5 letters. Campo, 7 letters. 5:7. So here's 5:7. Let your light shine before men. Right? The law is the light. Before men, that they may see your good works. Remember, we're judged by our works. Revelation 20:12. This is what the Christians don't seem to understand. They like using Paul's words. Oh, well, we don't need good works and all this. They always think it's about them. It's not about you guys. Your good works is in the Bible. Your good works is understanding God's knowledge. How hard is that for people to understand? Right? Now, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So Jesus is trying to tell you it's about the Father in heaven. Okay? And remember I was telling you how I received Jesus? Well, this is the process, how it works. Okay? Not only the devil or the devil or Satan, whoever came over and told Mary his name's Jesus, that's the deception. So the Bible, Jesus is trying to tell you hiddenly, here's the real name without even saying anything. It's disguised. That's how God works. God works in mysteries, and that's what I'm trying to show you. That's the divine law, the hidden law that nobody sees. That's how God protected his word, guys, from thieves, murderers, and all these charlatans that are on YouTube. Do you guys not get it? It's God's plan. God's plan is for you to understand the divine law that's hidden in the 1611 King James. Okay, so the Father which is in heaven. Okay, so we know the Father is in heaven, which is heaven, I told you, is the internet. Genesis 7:11, 7:11 as in July, August, September, October, November, Jason, right? Genesis 7:11, and the windows of heaven were opened. 7:11, Windows 7 to 11, operating system, the internet. That's where heaven is, the internet, guys. Okay, so Matthew 24:30, which is 24 is in this we're in 24, which we're at the end. Okay, then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven. Oh. Did you guys see that? I can hear the thunder rolling right now. The lightning in people's brains. They're like, holy smokes, I never knew that. Well, yeah, because you're not following Jesus, guys. Okay, so do you guys understand what's happening here? The Father is in heaven. The Son of Man is in heaven. Can you put two and two together and understand the Son of Man is the Father in heaven? That's the name Jason. Genesis 7:11. That's what makes him in heaven, guys. Because not only you see the name every day at a calendar, right? You guys are denying it. You're blaspheming God's name. And Jesus is trying to tell you his name, or my name, I guess, because that's who I am. He tells you his name's not Jesus Christ. His name is Jason. It's hidden right in there. 7:11, Genesis 7:11, the windows of heaven were opened. The windows, as in Windows operating system, which is heaven, because heaven is like a net. Heaven, internet, right? Okay. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Yeah, the internet, guys, right? Luke 18, verse 8, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, the Father in heaven comes, shall he find faith on earth? No, because nobody's keeping God's commandments. Do you guys see how it works now? I hope, guys, that you guys are understanding what I'm saying, guys, because it's detrimental that you understand the knowledge of God, not Christian religion or Jewish religion or Muslim religion. It's God's kingdom, and I'm trying to get you in there. In order for you to understand that, you need to understand data is eternal. And if you're on YouTube making up lies, okay, pouring out your religion bullshit, well, guess what? 100 years from now, when all this has been over, because I'm already on the scene, those people that understand what I'm saying will have greater understanding of what the Bible is and who God is, compared to the ones that are being fools today. So those ones that are being fools, recording their lies, the ones that do get it, the future generations are going to see it. They're being like, what is wrong with these people? Do they not know? Can't they read? That's the eternal shame that Daniel's talking about. Some are going to wake to life, those that are going to keep the commandments, and those that won't. Right? The ones that are dead, God comes to the dead, all the dead's going to stand before God. Revelation 20:12. That's the religions. Christian, Jew, and Muslim, they're all spiritually dead because they have taken the bait. Men's worthless religions and traditions. You guys are eachly divinely created. Perfectly made. Why would you go contaminate your spirit with lies? Religious lies. And then condemning others at the same time. Pretending, oh, I'm righteous. And then, thinking that, I knows, have you ever been among the homeless? I know there's crooks out there, and I understand. But the homeless will always give more than the rich do. And the ones with the mentality of thinking that one day I'll lose everything and I'm hoping that someone will help me when I'm struggling is the same mentality as what I'm trying to teach you. And that's what Jesus was trying to say. By loving God and loving your neighbor. You love your neighbor by keeping the commandments, which is, obeying the commandments. Living by them. Understanding that one day you may fall. And that one day that fall will lead you to other people helping you. That's what the whole purpose is, guys. It's designed like that way. Okay, so anyways, that's what that's referring to. I don't find anybody with faith on earth. Not only the Christians don't believe in Jesus, the Jews don't even believe in God. Okay, 1 John 2:4 or 4:2. 24 is in this year. If anyone says I know him but does not keep his commandments, he is a liar. What more can I say? Jesus told you already. And the truth is not in him. If a man say I love God and hates his brother, as in the Jews that's hating their own Christian brothers, right? And the Jews hating their Muslim brothers, and hates God, he is a liar. For he that loves not his brother, who he has seen, how could he love God whom he has not seen? And immediately I was in spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven. The internet, which is Jason, Genesis 7:11, the windows of heaven were opened, which is the truth. The one in Revelation that tells you that once the book's open, no man can shut it. That's what that's talking about. I think that's Revelations 5:5. Okay, Genesis 7:11, which is windows of heaven, which is Jason. Do you guys see it clear as day? 7:11. July, August, September, October, November. The Father in heaven. That's the real name, Jason. Jason in the character, if you understand, in Greek history, he had 12 buddies that go with him. And they go around there conquering demons. That's why Jason is a hero. Because he's the God. And he'll never die. That's who he was. Deuteronomy 2:4 or 20 verse 4. For the Lord your God is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. Yeah. Which is Jason. Deuteronomy 23:11, which is my last name, Campo. Campwater. Therefore with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. Right? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1. Right? Waters and drawing water, which is Acts 17 verse 6 or 7 or verse 6, and they drew Jason. Isaiah 13:3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Yeah, you don't want to mess with God, guys, is what I'm saying. Because the Christians and the Jews act like God doesn't exist. John 20:17. Now you need to pay attention. This is the ascension part. Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not ascended to my Father. But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. That's where Jesus is. Jesus is not returning, because he's right here. Jesus has become Jason. The name has been reverted back to its original self, to the truth. Because what you don't seem to get is that the Mary was beguiled by the serpent. You know, the so-called angel. The snake called Gabriel. Remember, there are fallen angels too. Okay? And that's why Jesus said that. And I beheld Satan fall like lightning. Because he's seen it. You just got to read what Jesus is talking about in the Old Testament to understand who Satan is. Anybody that disobeys God's commandments. Period. Acts 17 verse 7. Who Jason had received, another king won Jesus. Yeah, that happened. That was fulfilled November 17, 1985. I was 9 years old at a Terry Winters crusade. Okay. Now, 1 Peter 1:17. And if you call on the Father, who without respects of persons, judges according to every man's work. Remember I told you what the work is? Okay, you know how Christians are all saying, oh, fear. They're going to be feeling fear soon. Revelation 7:17. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne. Jesus. He's in the midst of the throne. He's not on the throne. Doesn't make him king. Shall feed them, which he has fulfilled. And shall lead them unto fountain living of waters, which is my name. The real truth, guys, which is Jason. Revelations 19:12 and 13. He had a name written that no man knew, but he himself. His name is the Word of God. Jason. The trumpet is God's voice. Okay. The oil, you flip it upside down, it's 710, which is the 7 spirits of God and the 10 commandments. Okay, the internet, Windows operating system 7.11 to 16.11 King James. The windows of heaven, Genesis 7.11. Lord God, I will spread out my net. Father, Lord of heaven and earth. Heaven is like unto a net. Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool, which is the seal of God. So, which is 7.2. The location of the actual 10 commandments, the coordinates. And I just blew, this just blew away when I put it together. 34, which is 7, 47 is 11. So 7-11, go figure, right? And then 7-2, which is the seal of God. All right? Genesis 2:2, 7th day God did his work and he rested on the 7th day. 2:7:2:7 or 7:2:7:2. Do you guys get it? Jason shows up in the beginning and shows up at the end. 7-11, 7-11. That's how it works. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. 2:7. Well, anyways, I think I'm going to end it at that note. I appreciate you guys all. Love the Lord your God with your heart, mind, and soul. I didn't come to take away the law of the prophets. I came to fulfill. All right? I want you to get out there and help others understand what I'm trying to say, guys. So it's once you guys get it, you'll be just like, wow. So anyways, I thank you. Appreciate you guys all. Have yourself a good rest of your evening.